Lovely. Right. Now to share to Facebook. No, this took forever last time.
Okay, well, I'll just start welcoming people in if we've got people that are joined via the Zoom link, and then we will be connecting with Facebook Live soon. So good morning, everybody. Great to see you in this really lovely sunny morning. Cara and I were just reflecting on how amazing it's been to have blue sky and sun. It's like an old friend that I've completely forgotten existed. So it's just so lovely to have that. So yeah, we will be doing some meditation. So if you've got some cushions or a blanket, whatever you need, if you want to grab that now. So we're just streaming on Facebook Live now. So welcoming people in. You might have just joined us on Facebook. So we will start in a couple of minutes. So bang on 8:30. So just getting anything that you might need. You might want some water. I always find it helpful to have some water in the morning, especially when I'm talking and reading a session. It's very helpful. So welcoming anybody else that's just joined us. We're going to be together so just before 9 o'clock, similar to what we did last week, giving you about 4 minutes or so to transition to lectures at 9 o'clock. Hopefully that's enough time. I know it's quite speedy, quick transition, especially when you've been meditating as well. Might feel a bit odd. But anyway, you want to give you as much opportunity to do some meditation practice as possible, so I don't want to cut it too short. Just a couple of minutes. So we had quite a good turnout last week. Apparently, I think there's about 50 people. Something like that. Cara's nodding her head. Yeah, I don't know about the absolute total, but that's great. Yeah, that's really wonderful. It's really nice to be able to share this with everybody. Okay, so just a minute and then we will start. Just give people a little bit longer to join us. It's like the countdown, looking at the clock in the corner. So for those people who have just joined, we are going to be doing some meditation. So you might want to get some cushions or a blanket. I always sit with lots of cushions around me. Kind of nice actually, feels very comforting. Okay, so 8:30. So welcome everybody to Mindfulness for Motivation. It's really lovely to be here. So this is week 2 of 4 weeks. We're going to be looking at mindfulness, and we're going to be doing some meditation between 8:30 and 9 o'clock. So for this Monday, obviously, and then for the next 2 Mondays up to the Easter break. So my name is Claire, and I'm a mindfulness teacher. And I was asked by Cara to offer these sessions for our NCM students to help you with preparation for the start of your week. So how can we bring more mindfulness, more awareness to our experience for the rest of the week? So the first week I did quite a longish introduction to what is mindfulness. So I won't do that this week. I will just recap on a few things and then we will do a meditation. So for those of you who are joining this week and weren't with us last week, and maybe aren't familiar with mindfulness, so mindfulness is bringing awareness to your present moment experience, just as it is, without judgment. So there's a few key words there. So the first one is awareness. So bringing awareness in the present moment experience, so here and now in this moment, without judgment. So if I'm being mindful in this moment, bringing awareness to what's happening now, the first thing I would bring awareness to is what's happening in my body. So we bring awareness to body, mind, and emotion. So what's happening in my body? So the first thing I notice is I'm sat down, and quite often we think, well, of course, that's obvious. I know I'm sat down. But actually, we spend 45% of our time in our heads, and our head just wanders constantly, wanders about things that have happened in the past that we can't do anything about, and speculates to things in the future that haven't even happened. So even though I'm sat down now, I'm not probably very present until I bring actual attention and awareness. Okay, so I'm sat down, I can feel my body. And then we bring awareness to how do I feel? So what's in our emotions? So at the moment, I'm feeling quite relaxed. Had a good night's sleep, so I feel okay. I feel quite awake. And I feel like I've got probably a slightly elevated heart rate, maybe a little bit of a sense of nerves because I'm here presenting with you all. And then what's in my mind? So my mind would be probably around things to do with, oh, I hope this is going okay. I hope I don't run over time. So this kind of critical mind comes in. And we're going to look at what we call the negativity bias, but we'll look at that next week. And that's very much related to the mind. But what I'm doing when I'm bringing awareness to these things is I'm not judging any of it. It's okay if I'm feeling, this kind of like heightened sensation around nerves. It's okay that I'm sat down at the moment, or it's okay I have these things in my mind. So the non-judgment is really, really important. And I think as musicians as well, we can come into a really harsh space with ourselves, very critical. So mindfulness isn't another thing to bash ourselves over the head with. We do enough of that already. As humans, we're very judgy. So mindfulness isn't to be used in that way. All we're doing is bringing awareness to what is here. Because when we're here, we're not so much in the head, and we can experience a lot of stress and anxiety when we're just locked into the headspace. So mindfulness gives us more things to bring our awareness to, basically. So if we're feeling stressed and anxious, okay, what's happening in my body? Can I bring my awareness to my feet on the ground, to the fact I'm sat here? To feel more engaged in the moment and more connected to what's real. So then we looked at how mindfulness can help us develop concentration, especially when we're feeling distracted. So when you're practicing, that real need for concentration, and the fact that if we make a mistake because we're distracted, do we know we're distracted in the first place? Maybe we don't, we're so lost in thought. So bringing that awareness in. And how can we use mindfulness to support self-directed practice? One thing I was reflecting on last week is that actually to do meditation is about bringing yourself into a state of solitary absorption. And that's exactly what we do as musicians. We've got that real focused attention on playing a piece, singing. So it's that absorption. So as musicians, it's kind of like, oh, okay, we're already one step ahead already. We've cultivated that sense of bringing awareness and attention. Okay, just one more thing to say on this, and then we will do a meditation. So one thing that we didn't talk about last week is the 8 foundations of mindfulness. So I find these really incredibly helpful not just when I'm meditating or not just when I'm trying to be mindful, but I find incredibly helpful for everyday life experiences. So the 8 foundations of mindfulness are attitudes that we can bring to support ourselves as human beings that aren't perfect, that experience, lack of motivation, that experience distraction and stress and all those things. So I'll run through them. We're going to look at one in particular in this session. So the first foundation is allowing and accepting. So what would it be like to allow and accept our experience just as it is, even if it feels difficult? The next one is letting go and letting be, which is very similar to allowing and accepting. What would it be to let go of preconceptions of how something is supposed to be and just be in the moment, trust the emergence of the now? The next one is patience. And in particular, if you're learning an instrument, learning a piece of music, patience is absolutely critical. We really need to cultivate that sense of patience. The next one is trust. How can we trust in ourselves, trust in our practice? The next one is non-striving. How can we be in that experience without trying to achieve anything, which is really difficult. We're very goal-orientated as humans, but how can we just be in the now without having to strive? Non-judging we talked about, and compassion. So non-judging, compassion, very similarly linked. How can we bring more kindness to ourselves? So yeah, not just through being mindful, just in everyday experience. And then the last one is beginner's mind. So this is what we're going to kind of look at a little bit closely in this session. And then there'll be a little exercise at the end, which I'd like you to just see if you can bring this into the week. Maybe give it a go. Because beginner's mind is bringing awareness as if you've noticed something for the first time, like with the curiosity of a child. Children find endless things fascinating, and because of that they find joy, they find pleasure in things. As adults we kind of forget that, we kind of have this sense that we know it all, or we're expected to know it all, and then that could take the joy out of things. So how can we bring a beginner's mind to our experience? Okay, so let's do a meditation practice, and I'll bring those elements in, and we'll end about 4 minutes too. So the practice will be about probably, let's have about, just under 20 minutes, something like that. Okay, so if you want to get yourselves comfortable, so what we tend to do with this practice is, I think what I would suggest is the body scan meditation. So some of you might have done this practice. We tend to do it lay down, but I think what I would suggest is, because it's early and most of us have just got up, if you don't want to fall to sleep and miss your lecture, I definitely suggest that you sit up for this practice. And if you do it another time, you might want to lie down, maybe in the evening. Okay, so bringing awareness into the body. So if you're sat down, just making sure you've got a nice straight spine. That's the most important thing, really. So this sat with this ease in the body. So you've got a nice straight spine, hands just resting in the lap, however you want to rest them, that's fine. You don't have to sit cross-legged. You can sit on a chair. That's, you can sit on the floor. It's however you want to, it's fine. If you want to close your eyes, you can do. I want to close my eyes because it just helps me to lead the practice. Or just have a very soft gaze. If you don't want to close your eyes, just gaze somewhere, but don't stare at the screen because that's just a bit too distracting. And then coming into the body. So bringing this mindful attention, mindful awareness into the body. So all we're doing at the moment is just noticing the body is sat down or lay down in a particular way. It's created a shape. So what is the shape of the body? Noticing the pressure points the body's making with what you're sat on or lay on. And just gently scanning through the body, just see if there's any holding on, any tension. So you might be familiar with the areas of tension. So maybe starting at the top of the head, around the forehead, the cheeks, the jaw, moving down through the shoulders, the front of the body, the back of the body, just a gentle scan. See if there's any holding on, any tightness. Just seeing if bringing awareness to those areas can help those areas to soften. Soft belly, soft hands, and then moving down through the thighs, the lower legs and the feet. And if you've got your feet touching the ground, just having this real sense of the earth underneath, so the earth coming up to meet your feet. Even if you're a couple of stories above the ground, just using your imagination to feel that supportive earth below. And then checking in with the breath, just noticing the breath is present. So last week we were using the breath as the anchor to help us to be in the now. So you might notice the breath moves the body back and forward very gently. So we're just trying to bring a sense of focus, concentration and awareness to the breath just for a moment to help us settle into the now. And then shifting the attention to the top of the head as we start the body scan meditation. So we're going to do exactly what it says. We're going to scan through the body, but we're just going to pay a bit more awareness on certain areas. So starting at the top of the head, so we're just bringing our awareness to the felt sensation. So we don't need to make anything up. Sensation is here, but sometimes we might not feel it, and that's okay. We're just bringing awareness to what is here now. So at the top of the head, you might have a sense of temperature, maybe. You might have a sense of tingling around the top of the head. We're just trying to open up to this awareness of what is always here. There's always some sensation happening in the body. And then moving down from the top of the head to the back of the head. Maybe noticing the shape of the back of the head. And then bringing awareness to the front of the head, to the face. Bringing awareness to the forehead. So just see if we can soften in this area. This is an area that quite often can hold tension because it's the area we associate with thinking. We can feel quite tight there. Just notice if sensation is present and if there's a sense of tightening, and you just, by bringing awareness, allow it to soften. And it might not, and that's okay. Moving down through the eyes, down through the cheeks, the jaw. We'll just see if we're holding on at all in the jaw. We allow the jaw to be soft. Then bringing awareness to the tip of the nostrils, to noticing the air coming in and out the nostrils. So opening up to this beginner's mind, so this always happens. The air is entering and coming out of your nostrils. This isn't at first, it always does this. So what's it like to notice this? Opening up to curiosity. And if the mind wanders, that's okay. That's what minds do. You're not doing it wrong if the mind wanders. It's normal. But what we do, we bring our awareness back to the physical sensations. So at the moment, we're at the nostrils. And then moving down through the face, through the neck, and just checking that the head is balanced on the neck. You might want to move the head back and forth, very small movements. side to side, back and forth, just feeling that poise, that balance of the head on the neck. And just resting when it feels it's balanced. And then moving down through the neck into the shoulders. So this can be an area of tension, especially if we've been on the computer quite a lot, or if we've been playing and we've been feeling we're getting a bit frustrated in practice. Just allowing the shoulders as best we can to drop down. And recognizing if sensation is there, can we allow the sensation just to be there? We don't need to interpret it or make anything of it. We're just bringing awareness. What's here now? This beginner's mind, this curiosity. And then moving down from the shoulders to the upper arms. You might feel the fabric of your clothes on your arms. Or maybe if your arms are exposed, you might be able to feel the air on your arms. These sensations maybe are very subtle. We're just trying to hone in to cultivate this awareness as best we can. Moving down through the lower arms, into the hands. So allowing the hands to rest. Soft fingers, soft palms. We don't need to hold on to anything. We can just let go in the hands. And then bringing awareness to the palms of the hands, noticing any sensations there. You might notice a sense of pulsing. You can feel the blood moving around. Maybe a sense of tingling in the palms, sense of temperature. And then bringing awareness to the thumbs, so both thumbs together, just noticing what you can feel in the thumbs. And then bringing awareness to the fingers next to the thumbs, the middle fingers, the fingers next to them, and the little fingers. And then opening up to the aliveness, all the sensations in both hands. Maybe marveling for a moment how incredible the hands are. Opening up again with that beginner's mind, that curiosity, as if you've experienced in your hands for the first time. And then moving away from the hands, back up the arms, so slowly moving up to the shoulders, and then moving into the back of the body. As we travel down through the spine, you might be able to feel the breath in the back of the body, moving the back of the body gently back and forth, this gentle rocking sensation. And sometimes bringing awareness to the back of the body can just have this bigger opening up of our experience, because we tend to bring our awareness very much to the front of the body. What's it like to shift our awareness to the back? So gently just dropping down through the back, maybe imagining going down each vertebrae if that feels helpful. Just connecting to any sensations and just being careful as well that, you know, all our bodies are different. There might be some aches and some tightness and stiffness that we can be with. There might be some pain present in the body, and if there is, really being careful with that. Sometimes we can move into pain with curiosity, a beginner's mind. Well, sometimes the pain is just too much, and we need to gently pull away. So taking responsibility for yourself in these practices. If any time anything feels too strong, come into the breath, opening your eyes if you want to, and just bringing awareness to the room. And then moving back up through the back of the body, back up to the shoulders, maybe checking in on the mind. Has the mind wandered off into storytelling, planning, worries, anxieties? If it has, that's okay. We don't judge the mind. The mind will wander off, that's what it likes to do. But we bring our awareness back into the body. And then moving into the front of the body, into the chest. And you might notice the breath in the front of the body. As the chest rises and falls. And for a moment, you might like to place your hand on your chest. And just so you can feel the felt sensation of the body moving back and forth. Maybe connecting from the warmth of your hand onto your body. That might feel quite soothing. And just trying to be with the sensations that are here now as best we can. Opening up this beginner's mind, this curiosity. Because when we open up with a beginner's mind, we can become aware of things that are always here, things that are pleasant and joyful. When we're stuck in the head, we can miss these simple little things that actually can make us feel good. So just as the act of feeling the breath in the body, feeling the movement of the breath under the hand, even something as simple as that can just make us feel a bit more connected, a bit more present, with that maybe a bit calmer. And then moving down through the body, you can take your hand off your chest if you like, to the belly, allowing the belly to be soft. We don't need to hold on in the belly. Notice any sensations there. And then coming into the seated position, noticing the buttocks and the thighs. Notice any maybe sense of pressure of what you sat on. You might feel the fabric of your clothes around your thighs. You might not feel anything. Sometimes the bigger muscles, it's more difficult to have a sense of sensation. That's okay. And then down through the knees into the lower legs. Again, maybe just seeing what's there, opening up to this curiosity. And then down into the ankles and into the feet. And then becoming aware of the feet. Maybe the feet are covered with socks or footwear. So you can maybe feel a sense of temperature with the feet. Or maybe the feet are exposed to the air and you can feel the coolness or the warmth of the air on your feet. You're going to open up to this beginner's mind as if you've never brought awareness to your feet. What does it feel like to notice these sensations? And then bringing awareness to the whole of the body here. So while we're in the body, we're in the now. So we can always use the body as the anchor for the now. We can always find some area of curiosity, some kind of pleasant sensation in the body. It can really help us when we're feeling maybe a lack of motivation. We feel like things are a bit of a slog. It's quite hard work. Coming into the body can open up this new experience. And then just checking in on how you're doing at the moment. How do you feel? Remembering mindfulness isn't just about the body, it's about how do we feel. We don't judge how we feel, we just notice. And maybe setting an intention for yourself, it feels okay, about what you could do this week to look after yourself, to look after your well-being, making a promise to yourself. Might be as simple as just going out for a walk in the sun. It doesn't have to be anything big. Just something you can do just for you. And we're going to slowly bring this practice to an end. So bringing awareness to where you are in the space that you're in. Wiggling your fingers and your toes very slowly. And then very slowly opening your eyes when you're ready. So it's 4 minutes to, so if you can bear with me just 1 minute longer. There's just something I'd like to introduce if you would like to try this. So carrying on for this practice of bringing awareness into the body. So when you're playing or singing, performing in any kind of way, practicing, coming into the body, noticing the body sensations. We can be so stuck in the head. What is it like to feel the body in movement while we're performing, while we're playing? Allow the body to use its muscle memory. You know this already. Yeah, and when you do that, you can let go of that. You can gently reinforce this sense of the bodily sensations. And that's when you open up to beginner's mind. That's when you can find the intrinsic joy that maybe sometimes when we're feeling lack of motivation, we really need to connect to. Coming to things afresh through the body. So wishing you all well. I hope you have a good week, and yeah, hopefully see you next week. If anybody does have any questions or any comments, you can put them in the chat. But I do recognise it's nearly 9 o'clock now, so you probably need to get off. Yeah, thanks so much everybody for joining us. Yeah, so we've got a couple of minutes if people do want to ask the questions or put anything in the chat, you can do.
Thanks, Claire. We'll see you at the same time.
Yes, we'll do. Oh, you're frozen. I don't know if that's my connection or not. But yes, I'll see you next week if you can still hear me.